all right? And you want to continue to play, and you're in orange chips, and you go, actually, I'm going to place there for the next spin. Now, the croupier wouldn't know if you've just placed them or if they were part of the original action, so they would say, these are off limits, you can place it anywhere else, anywhere next door to it, but not in association with the winner.
But if they're not looking, right, could you get your chips and just do that by mistake?
What if you did that? Say, do that again, lean over and do that, and some guy just grab you like that and say, right, son, out the door.
But who would do that in a casino?
The dealer would.
The dealer would.
Simply,
you wouldn't manhandle someone like that.
When he plays, there's not TIP, so we'd kick him out.
But in the UK, there's no TIP.
Ah, soon to come, I believe.
No, you believe wrong, because they did change the date, they did change the law back in September. Nothing's been done about it.
No, apparently June this year, ladies and gents.
Next month?
Yeah, June is coming. It is the next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because what I want to do, on the actual phone system, I want to have an option where you can tip the presenter.
The presenter? Who's spinning the ball here?
Who's asking you to spin?
Who's creating the winners?
Who's closing the table?
Okay, we'll pool it. 60-40.
No way.
70-30.
$5.95 to you. Good luck. Table's closed.
95 to me. Thanks, Joe. Here we
The
go,
5 to you.
There's your spin.
Now you can see how we're doing it. Every single 3 minutes we give you a brand new game, okay? And in that game you can play the same as the last. It's up to you how you play your game. Lindsay, Greywing, Postman, Hannibal, Ekrams, Callus, Getter and Doroth. You can still actually add a Y to that, Doroth, if you want to. Bezosm, German, Bitham6, at the R72. Could be Atha though. Hades, Kickerman, Hadamard, loads of winners there, including Wettin, Watsonia, Rockster, Slitwheel, Chris 18, Bensper, and El Tannin. You see, if you make those names a lot easier, we could read them out a lot quicker, and we'll get them guaranteed as well. But you know, if you are going to make work for us, then give us a tip, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not talking about horsing tip. Yeah. I'm talking about real hard cash, because to be honest, in a casino, I don't actually think tipping a croupier is the right thing to do.
Jem, please.
I'm not a croupier.
Trying to promote this.
No.
No?
I would prefer...
Okay, Jem's not in the tip pool, ladies and gents. Forget the percentage, just tip the dealers, fine.
See, in a casino, it's their job. They get paid to do that anyway.
Do they?
What? Do you do it for free?
No, I don't know. They work for tips. So if you weren't tipping them, they were doing it for free.
See, that phrase really annoys me. Especially if you're a waiter or a waitress. Okay, my dad was a waiter back in the day. And if he went to a restaurant here in the UK, even now, and he gets really bad service, he'll still tip. And I said to him, Dad, why'd you do that? He said, well, unless you're a waiter or a waitress, you'll never know. You know, like you say, you work for your tips. But what a stupid thing to do.
Have you ever worked for your tips?
Get a proper job.
Have you ever worked for your tips?
No.
No? Well, there you go then. Just answer it yourself. You don't know. Have you done it before?
I had a choice. I could have been a waiter. I chose not to.
There's many other professions that earn tips as part of their wages.
Would you call, if you say, for example, you worked in the city and you got a bonus, would you say a bonus is having a tip by your boss?
Not by the boss, it's by the company, isn't it? You don't get tipped necessarily by the boss, because many corporates aren't there. There's boards involved and stuff.
Well, I own a business. I'd tip my workers.
Would you?
Yeah.
Are you sure they're not part of the bonus scheme where based on how productive they are?
No, not at all. I mean, my tips are basically watch Channel 851 because you could win. That's my tip to the workers. Yeah. To Patel Corporation. Or Patel Industries, ladies and gents.
Jem, you don't know what it's all about yet, do you? You don't.
About what?
When you go back to a casino and you have a little flutter, and you're playing and that, you see a different response if you tip the dealers. You should do anyway, if the professional.
Let me tell you something, right? You should know this, you've been doing it for a couple of decades, but I'll tell you anyway. You've been a croupier.
Just tell me again. I've heard this one before.
But listen, you do very well. You know, you've had your experience, you do very well. There's 12 people around the table. If I were to tip you, what's the difference between how you give me my chips?
They all play on the table at the same time.
I've run out of time. I'll tell you our next game. Good luck.
Please, Jem. More professional. Here we go, then, Jen.
Formerly known as Tony's Den. Not no more. It's now Gordon's Den, number 10. But for how much longer? Warden.
When's your next holiday?
That's right. Ekrams, Sukuba, Abantu, Callus, Atha 72, Besism, and Victoria there with your 150. Well done. Greywing, Lindsay, had Ahmad. Slitwell, Hades, Volleymon, Hannibal and Torihiko. They're playing very well. Well done. Doroth, Solosha, BM6, Jorvik, Brian 14, Rockster, German and Lesath. They're all winning on the third page. Page 4. I think there possibly... There is! It's Lady Hawk with your £3. So congratulations to you. Well done. So we were talking about tips earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay. And what were we saying?
We were just talking about
the fact that you want tips. Oh, right, this is it. Okay. Say, for example, now here at Smart Life Casino, we could have...
Oh, you said there was 12 people
50,000 people around the table. But in a casino, you probably have, what, about 9, 12
Well, you're limited
people?
just by the space, aren't you?
So 12 people, I would say, playing.
Yeah, you probably could,
Okay.
yeah.
I am one of the 12 people playing.
Yeah.
I am one of I'm one of the people that actually tipped you.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't happen in real life because I wouldn't tip a croupier.
Okay.
But the other 10 didn't.
Yeah.
What would you do for me that's different that you wouldn't do for the others?
Well, you see a big difference, Jem. If they're professional croupiers and it's a busy game, say for example you're here but you like to place your chips on a low number or something like that, and you're leaving your chips there and you're going number 1, number 4, 0, number 6. And another player over there is doing exactly the same, but they're tipping. Whose chip placement are they going to place before you? And also, if they run out of time, your action, unless it's placed on the layout, is no action. So they'll just avoid you. When you want colour change all the time, let's say when you've run out of your colour chips when you're playing, you go, actually I need another 50 chips, give us another 50 chips. And they're going about to spin, they'll just look at you and spin up. And then go grab yours and go change after the spin. So they'll just do subtle things to remind you of what they're doing there. They're looking after you by keeping you informed on the game, to keeping you apace the game as well.
What a horrible person.
No.
What a horrible person.
When you go
I
to
would
a
move
restaurant,
tables.
when
I'd
you
go to a different
restaurant
table.
and you know if you're a regular, say you dine out for your lunch, and you always tip the waitress and stuff like that, you can always get your coffee cup's never empty, she'll come and fill up your coffee cup, you know, you don't even have to ask.
That's slightly different. You know, when I go to a restaurant, I will tip a waiter or a waitress.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What if the food's
what I
awful?
don't like to do is tip a taxi driver.
You never tip taxi driver?
They're getting money out of me anyway. What service didn't they provide for me that I've already paid for?
They got you from A to B.
That's their job.
Yeah, but they fed you at a restaurant, that's their job.
What, a taxi driver?
No, if you went to a restaurant and you tip him, they fed you, it's the same.
I pay you the bill at the end, don't I?
Yeah, but why are you tipping them?
Because she's a nice waitress.
Well, if it's a nice waiter.
No, well, I don't go for waiters, I go for waitresses. Anyway, the table's closed. Good luck.
Here we go, ladies. It's just... Number 23 is a tier number, ladies and gents. 23 red.
No, 23, not 22, but I'll move that over for you anyway. There it is.
Teamwork.
Sorry?
Teamwork.
Teamwork. You see, it's the same thing.
T
but different.
for tips and teamwork.
He wants his tips, doesn't he? But he's not done anything for it. Players and now winners. We've got Lindsay, Victoria, Wettin, we've got Sonia, Bezosom, Slitwheel, Kittian and Abantu there on the first page. We're talking about tips, ladies and gentlemen. Should we tip or should we not tip? What's your tip? Hadamard, Stato, Hades, Ather72 and Rockster. So you said, you know, you should tip a croupier if he or she's looking after you or you're doing really, really well. And then you also said, what if you went to a restaurant and you went to that restaurant, what, once a week, would you tip the waitress? Because you always go there. What if you had a certain business, or you know, you kept on ordering things on the internet and they'd arrive, and a courier were to come round to your house, you'd have the same courier once a week, twice a week. Would you tip him or her?
No, not necessarily, but that's a different type. There's only certain people. Do you tip at
Not
Christmas
really.
time?
I mean, you imagine if you've ordered something really fragile from the internet.
Yeah.
What's stopping him getting the box and dropping it by mistake and then giving it to you?
It's true, yeah, there's a possibility that he could, but it's not one of those industries that it's a tipping industry. It's not really a service, him delivering the courier and stuff, is it? If you particularly ask the shop, could you deliver it by 9 o'clock the next morning, and could you install it? Then a tip might be, you know, one of the things that you would do in that scenario.
So if you bought yourself a washing machine, say for example,
yeah,
and they came around and they fitted it in your in your
if they
kitchen
took away the old one, they fitted it in and everything.
You'd give
else.
them a tip?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Means yes on TV, but no in reality.
Well, it depends how if I'd paid for the service, because you have to pay for the service sometimes, can't you?
Yeah, you got to pay like, for delivery.
Originally, if you was there and said, I'm having problems taking out the old one before you arrived, he said, no problem, I've got a spare set, and he just did it all for you. And I said, any charge? He said, no, you're all right. I'll probably give him a bung after that.
Again, probably. Means yes on TV, no in reality.
You can't really say, because it's not really a service industry, but what are the givens, really? Casinos, you tip, you should tip if you're playing in casinos and it's allowed.
Okay,
Restaurants.
you wouldn't tip a fruit
restaurants.
machine, would you?
No, you're allowed restaurants. It's a machine, Jem. It's a machine.
Machines have feelings.
Taxi drivers.
Look at Short Circuit. I'm alive.
What else are you allowed to tip, or you're supposed to tip? What else are you supposed to tip?
A waiter or waitress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So restaurants, cafes, that sort of thing, yo. Taxi drivers,
How about
casinos.
your barbers, hairdresser?
Hairdresser, do you tip? You obviously don't tip yours. He needs to finish off that haircut, doesn't he?
I went today actually at Barry,
Oh, yeah.
the cutting room.
Did you tip him?
I don't tip him because I go there every 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
My God, you are so tight. So when he goes £14 and you give him 15, you're still waiting for that pound.
£10. I'm not going to go there and carry the extra weight for that pound, am I, for a tip?
How far have you had to travel to find this Barry?
He's only 4 minutes down the road.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's always, and he's always
right.
running 15 minutes late, for God's sake. That's why he doesn't get a tip from me. If you're watching Barry, I'm only joking. Same thing, but different. Table's closed. Good luck.
Here we go then, gents. Here's your spin.
On Smart Life Casino. What do? Do you tip? Do you don't tip? Let us know. Studio at smartlifecasino.com. Do you don't tip? We've got Greywig, German, Ekrams, Sukuba, Kickerman, Biham6, Watsonia and Warden there with your 144. Well done. Doroth, Brian 14, Rockster, and of course we've got Lady Hawk there as well. The question is, do you tip? Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? If you'd like to get yourself in touch with the show, please do. The address, the email address, of course, is studio@smartlifecasino.com. That's studio@smartlifecasino.com. I tip waitresses. If I've had a good service, I'll tip them up to 15%.
You're contradicting what you just said. You said, why tip the waitress 5 minutes ago?
No. I always tip. If you're listening to me, I say to you, I always tip in a restaurant.
No, well, I said to you if the service is bad, you said no.
What do you mean, if the service is
If the
bad?
service is bad, they're slow with the food's not particularly great, you said you wouldn't tip earlier.
But then, I said if the service is good, I would tip up to 15%. Something that...
You just added that during the spin. He said, I will tip very generously, up to 15%.
But it's true. If they gave me good service, I would give them up to 15%.
Oh, see the way he breaks it down into figures. He's unbelievable. What's the biggest tip you ever given anyone?
Percentage-wise or pound-wise?
For you, percentage probably.
Listen, you laugh, but 1%. Listen, 1% of a big amount is a lot of money.
All right, say 1% of £100 is.
£1.
So is that good? So
Well,
10% would be £10.
10 quid.
So 15
Good service,
pounds.
15 quid.
But in most restaurants, 15% service is included anyway half the time. I mean, that's a standard anyway.
I tell you what really
isn't it?
annoys me. Okay, sometimes you go to a restaurant, they'll say parties of 6 or more people, parties of 8 people, you have to pay a tip of 10% of whatever, 15, whatever it is. Under that is discretionary, and on the menus it will say tips not included. Okay, but sometimes what they'll do is they'll give you the bill. And then they'll say gratuity, and then add that to your final bill.
Yeah.
And they say you don't have to pay that. But who is going to sit there working out? They don't even give you an amount. Sometimes it's like a percentage, 10% or 50 or 70. I've had 17% before. Do you think I will pay 17% tip to a waiter or a waitress?
You should do, Jen. You should do.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
What's the biggest tip you paid?
The biggest tip I've given someone is...
You're scratching your head, which means you're lying.
No, it's not. I'm thinking, Jem, please. Is about £500. It's about £750, Jem.
£750 and the bill came to about a tenner, ladies and gents. Absolutely. That's what happens when you live in Surrey. It's Latin for I'm very rich. Volumen, we've got German and Jay in there as well. Good luck. The table has now closed.
There we go. Here's your spin coming up. Number 30 is a tier number, ladies and gents. It's your result, 30 rounds.
There it is, Dirty 30. That's my age 3 years ago.
Getting
30.
old, Jem.
I am getting old, mate. You're absolutely right. But never as old as you. All right, so let's do it all over again then, shall we? But you don't look 41, mate. That's got to be said.
Jem.
Yeah, and you've done a lot in your 41 years of life as well, haven't you?
Have I?
Well, you've worked in different countries. You've earned tips from lots of people. Slitwill, Torihiko, Lindsay, Biham6, Doroth, Ekrams.
15% once.
Volleybomb, that's from me, Kickerman, Brian 14 and Rockster there with your 20 as well. Now honestly, what would you be happy to tip 15%?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course I would. Yeah, depends what depends what it is as well. I had a friend who we had a party and he set up.
Is this true story?
Yes, true story. Of course.
Because you've got to ask him, ladies and gentlemen.
No, please, please.
Honestly.
And he had this. It was called a disc quartet, and he was basically a disco, but he would have live musicians as well, and they would play over the music.
Were there 4 of them?
Yeah, there was actually. There was a bongo guy, a singer, a sax, and I can't remember what the 4th musician was as well. Anyway, it was fantastic. He set it up for us. I mean, it's very expensive to hire.
What's his name? James Taylor?
No, the company's called Organised Chaos actually, but in very, very good quality, right, top drawer. And he threw in a disco for us as well, part of it. And the rig is £2,000 at least.
So you paid him £2,000?
No, that was for the musicians. It was a different price, but the rig just for his part of it, because he sets it all up, was about I don't know, £2,000, £1,500, £2,000. He did it for free for me, but I had to pay for the musicians and the other part of it. And I gave him a good bung at the end of it.
Well, that's different though, because that basically.
Well, no, he wasn't expecting. At the end, he didn't want to take it. You know, he said, no, it's fine, it's fine.
I've done that for a photographer as well. He said, look,
15%?
No, actually, I paid him like 100%. He said, no, I'll do it for free. I said, what's your fee? And he told me his fee, and I just paid it to him because he did a really good job, and everyone was really happy about it. You know. Okay. So it's different scenarios and different things.
Yeah. So you didn't actually give him a tip, did you? You just paid him.
But he didn't want to be paid. He wouldn't take our money.
No.
And I was like, no, you know, we really enjoy.
So if you were to give him his rate and then 15%, now we're talking. But you just give him his rate.
He would have walked away with 0. He would have walked away with 0. But instead of walking away with 0, we paid him his fee.
And are you still friends?
Oh, absolutely. Now he does all my gigs for free.
Even though you didn't give him the extra. Even though you didn't give him the extra 15%. You see, Jem, you're coming round to our way of thinking. Tipping it oils the cogs and makes the wheels go round, doesn't it?
But my point is, it's like going to your boss and saying, can I have a pay rise? He'll come up to you and he'll say to you, well, what's the excuse? Why do you want a pay rise? And you'll say to him,
what's the excuse?
No, yeah, but the boss will see it as an excuse, you know. And he'll say, well, why do you want a pay rise? And you say to him, well, I do a good job. But really, he's paying you to do a good job in the first place.
But it's what's the going rate as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? And most of it's comparisons, isn't it? He or she is getting that, so therefore I should get that. I'm doing the same job.
Don't keep up with the Joneses, Gary. You will not keep up with them. It's not a good thing. I'll tell you that. The table's closed. Good luck.
Here we go, ladies and gents. Here's your spin coming up. Best of luck.
Everything is kept exactly the same. The phone number's the same. The phone number is still free as well. Players on the left, and now we've got the winners. Abantu, Slitwheel, Sukuba, Atha72, Ekrams, Jayan, Jorvik, and Kickerman there with your 72. I reckon Jayan pays a lot. I reckon Jayan always over tips. Warden, Hades, Rockster, Volleyman, Brian 14 and Solosia. And I reckon Brian 14 winning £15 probably pays about a 15% tip. I don't like where this is going, you know.
Why?
Because the tips, first of all, I remember back in the day they used to be about 8 or 9%. Then they slowly crept up to 10. Now they've jumped to 15. What happened to 11, 12, 13 and 14?
I think it's just increments, just easier to add the equation, isn't it? 10%, 15%.
No, 10% is easier to work out than 15%.
It's true, actually. It's true.
You know,
What's the highest tip is in London, though? In London, we're talking about London because obviously we're based in London.
I would say somewhere in the square mile. If you want to be a waiter or waitress in the United Kingdom, I would say work in the square mile in central London. You probably earn the biggest tips there because the city boys over there, the bankers, you know, they would earn bonuses of sometimes 400% of their salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their salary is already inflated anyway. So if you're earning 100 grand, you can expect a £400,000 bonus. You imagine the day that you hear that you've won a bonus, you go for a drink. If your drinks come to 10 quid. And you got a £50 note, are you going to ask for a change once you've got a £400,000 bonus?
Probably
not.
Yes.
Probably not.
No.
If I got a bonus of £400,000,
yeah,
I would happily tip 40 quid for a £10 drink.
Every time you went for a drink?
No, on that day.
Oh, okay.
And for that year.
So what
that's it.
For the Jem's theory, it's like right time, right place for that waitress. That one waitress out of like the millions that work London. Yeah. Okay, Jem. Yeah.
You think?
So what else? What other professions? Got to be doorman, haven't they? Concierge. Doorman,
no. Who are those people? The valet people. The people that take your car and park it for you.
Yeah, valets and doormen as well.
Those people you definitely need to tip because if you don't tip them, you know they could do anything to your car. You know, they can wheel spin it and take away handbrake
they get a good location, don't they? They get right outside.
Absolutely. As soon as you go out, give them a ticket, your car's there within seconds. You know?
So you
but they
would
look after
tip a
your
valet
car.
then, wouldn't they?
I would because he's looking after a possession of mine.
Ah.
Yeah, like a babysitter. I don't have any babies.
You would tip the babysitter?
I would Yeah, because the babies, I would think, are probably the most important thing in my life.
Well, you're not even there. You don't even
After
know
my
if
car.
the service is being good or bad. Your babies are in bed
you know
by
what
the
I
time
would
you
do?
get back.
I'm thinking about investing in one of those little micro spy cameras.
Yeah?
Yeah, and spying on them.
Spying on who?
Babysitters.
You haven't got any babies.
Yeah, but I'm in the future when I do,
Oh, okay.
I'm going to invest in a little
So
camera.
who are you going to spy on in the meantime?
Huh?
Who are you going to spy on?
I don't have the camera at the moment.
Oh, you're just thinking about it. Who else could you spy on then, Jeff? That's a food for thought for you.
Yeah, that is actually. I'll have a think about it, and I'll let you know in the next 60 minutes, because next, of course, is Carmel and Brad. Table's closed. Good luck.
Here we go then, gents. This is our last spin for an hour. You got Bradley. We'll look after you the next hour. Best of luck.